Welcome to this video about the best quotes by Alfred Adler, a renowned psychologist and founder of the School of Individual Psychology. In this video, we'll explore some of his most powerful and thought-provoking quotes you can use in your life. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into the wisdom of Alfred Adler.
The only normal people are the ones you don't know very well. The chief danger in life is that you may take too many precautions. No experience is a cause of success or failure. We do not suffer from the shock of our experiences, so-called trauma, but we make out of them just what suits our purposes. It is always easier to fight for one's principles than to live up to them. Meanings are not determined by situations, but we determine ourselves by the meanings we give to situations. God, who is eternally complete, who directs the stars, who is the master of fates, who elevates man from his lowliness to himself, who speaks from the cosmos to every single human soul, is the most brilliant manifestation of the goal of perfection. It is easier to fight for one's principles than to live up to them. A lie would have no sense unless the truth were felt dangerous. The educator must believe in the potential power of his pupil, and he must employ all his art in seeking to bring his pupil to experience this power. To be a human being means to possess a feeling of inferiority which constantly presses towards its own conquest. The greater the feeling of inferiority that has been experienced, the more powerful is the urge for conquest and the more violent the emotional agitation. The truth is often a terrible weapon of aggression. It is possible to lie, and even to murder, with the truth. We must never neglect the patient's own use of his symptoms. Death is really a great blessing for humanity. Without it there could be no real progress. People who lived forever would not only hamper and discourage the young, but they would themselves lack sufficient stimulus to be creative. There is no such thing as talent. There is pressure. Man knows much more than he understands. The science of the mind can only have for its proper goal the understanding of human nature by every human being, and through its use, brings peace to every human soul. The greater the feeling of inferiority that has been experienced, the more powerful is the urge to conquest and the more violent the emotional agitation. The neurotic is nailed to the cross of his fiction. The test of one's behavior pattern is their relationship to society, relationship to work and relationship to sex. A simple rule in dealing with those who are hard to get along with is to remember that this person is striving to assert his superiority, and you must deal with him from that point of view. Exaggerated sensitiveness is an expression of the feeling of inferiority. There is a law that man should love his neighbor as himself. In a few hundred years it should be as natural to mankind as breathing or the upright gait, but if he does not learn it, he must perish. Trust-only movement. Life happens at the level of events, not of words. Trust movement. It is the patriotic duty of every man to lie for his country. We must interpret a bad temper as a sign of inferiority. Our modern states are preparing for war without even knowing the future enemy. We are influenced not by what we have, but by what we do not have. Every individual acts and suffers in accordance with his peculiar teleology, which has all the inevitability of fate, so long as he does not understand it. It is one of the most effective attitudes of the neurotic to measure thumbs down, so to speak, a real person by an ideal, since in doing so he can depreciate him as much as he wishes. In the investigation of a neurotic style of life, we must always suspect an opponent, and note who suffers most because of the patient's condition. Usually this is a member of the family. My difficulties belong to me. We cannot say that if a child is badly nourished he will become a criminal. We must see what conclusion the child has drawn. Every therapeutic cure, and still more, any awkward attempt to show the patient the truth, tears him from the cradle of his freedom from responsibility and must therefore reckon with the most vehement resistance. To all those who walk the path of human cooperation, war must appear loathsome and inhuman. All problems are interpersonal relationship problems. The important thing is not what one is born with, but what use one makes of that equipment. It is very obvious that we are not influenced by facts but by our interpretation of the facts. Follow your heart but take your brain with you. Overcoming difficulties leads to courage, self-respect, and knowing yourself. We are not determined by our experiences, but are self-determined by the meaning we give to them, and when we take particular experiences as the basis for our future life, we are almost certain to be misguided to some degree.
Thank you for watching our video about the best quotes by Alfred Adler. We hope these quotes have inspired you to think more deeply about your own life and the world around you. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking content. Thank you for watching.